Konnichiwa, critics, RatedT.S.M, and today I'm going to be talking about how Japanese mostly and Korean ruined my English. Now, I don't mean it ruined my English in the whole traditional sense of my grammar is now weird. No, my grammar is pretty fine because since I help international students with their English, and as a history major I have to write a lot of essays. My English and all that stuff's pretty fine, good. So in terms of that. However, as you kind of probably maybe noticed, I almost accidentally said white instead of right. That is not the first time that has almost happened. It has ruined my English in other sectors. For example, so I can't say I have RatedT.S.M, but I feel as though by learning the languages, I've kind of developed a little bit of RatedT.S.M because I've noticed I've had significant difficulty saying R specifically, and I have never before had difficulty really saying R's. The only, I think, letters I ever had trouble saying in the past were TH sounds. I couldn't say three very well when I was a child. I kept saying tree, tree, tree. And my grandma once, she said, we're not going into the house until you say three. I would say tree, tree, three. It's just that H, I just could not get it out. And we went in the house. And the reason why she even did that was because I was able to finally say three before, but when I would count, like maybe one time, but when I would count, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so not only is it a plant that grows sky high and gives us oxygen that we're cutting down too many of and creating bigger problems with this global warming thing, it is also a thing that is a number. 1, 2, 3 people. So, yeah, there was that. But as of late, these R's and these W's, I mean, I'm just starting to accidentally say W's instead. And this isn't just with, I guess that. Whereas, like I said to one of the girls from my computer science class, we were talking, we were chilling, all of this great stuff. And we were talking about some rooming stuff, and I said to her, 2 wrongs don't make a white instead of bright, because even though in my mind I knew I was going to, well, at least I was thinking I was going to say right, it came out as white. And I was just, So, whatever. Now, when it comes to R and L in Japanese, there are a lot of times when I have to combine that sound. Because we have these things in Japanese called u-verbs and lu-verbs. So with Japanese, when it comes to their whole phonetics and stuff, hiragana's for phonetics, katakana's for the foreign language or words that are borrowed. Like I told you guys, anime, which is short for animation, is actually a borrowed word and whatnot from English, I believe. Pretty sure it's just English. I don't think any other word has. I don't think we got that from anywhere. But yes. So they use that for borrowed words, and kanji, those are the Chinese characters and Chinese words. For example, kanpai, cheers, a toast, comes from, I don't know what the tones are, but this is at least what my professor told us, kanpai. And nihon, which is how their kanji for that comes from ribon, which my tone's probably bad again. But I actually know that from studying Chinese. Example, but I don't know if the bun inspired saying Nihon or Nippon, whatever. Now, when it comes to Korean, since there is an alphabet and whatnot, they just have, one solid letter for everything. They have Ryul. I don't know, I'm bad at saying the letters. And I'm bad at speaking because I don't have anybody to speak to. So, excuse me if I butcher anything in Korean. But they just have Ryul, whereas with Japanese and the hiragana and the phonetics and whatnot, they have, I don't know if this is what it's officially called, but I call it the Ra series because it's the first one in the series. Whereas with the vowels, well, they're all vowels. I don't think anything in Japanese is not a vowel, but when they have the regular, I don't even know what you call this. The regular series, they have A, I, U, E, O. So, and then all you do with that is you add the like a beginning letter, like ta, chi, tsu, se, so. That's a very bizarre one that I actually chose. I don't know why I chose that one because it's not like any of the other ones. But normally, unlike with the ta series, which is very abnormal, it just goes, for example, I guess with the ra series, I would say ra, di, ru, re, ro. And because of how often the ru is needed, you know, how often you have to think about it, I'm always mixing together my R and L sounds. And because of how much I have to mix together my R and L sounds, because I know how to, because Japanese helped me do that, because it's easy to do in Korean, I am losing the ability to not combine them. I mean, it's almost as if I can't make hard R sounds when I want to say things. Hard L sounds pretty easy because L is a pretty easy letter to say. Super. I mean, okay, obviously, if you're not native, a native English speaker or a speaker whose native language has a hard L sound, probably won't be easy for you. But even with the Japanese students that I helped with their English, they didn't really struggle with the L sound. It was saying R sounds that they struggled with the most, trying to make the hard R. And you know, it's good to be able to not do that. But if you really kind of just say a hard R sound, or I'd probably say a hard L sound might be a little safer, they won't really notice. I mean, I noticed when one girl, she said lose instead of lose, but which is kind of funny because ruse is, like, I don't know. I think it's kind of a funny word to say. Like, this was a ruse. Yeah, you set me up. I don't know, I think that's a funny word. But yeah, so messes me up there. However, there is a story time, since there is supposed to be at least one story time or a tea time each week this month. So here's the reason why, in spite of the fact that it's making it harder to say some things in English, there is a silver lining. So, I was talking to Mir TV, telling her how I don't like it at all when people talk to me on the bus. And I don't know how to excuse myself from those situations because it's just awkward. I mean, how do you say to someone, stop talking to me? Or if you get up and you move to another seat, you just feel awkward and rude. You're thinking, oh, whoa. Or you could have said something. And you just don't want to come off, especially since you don't know who is and who isn't crazy anymore. So she did give me some pointers, and she said, for example, you could just try speaking a different language. And not a real one, you can just make up your own language, which could be a good idea, because nobody is going to pretend they know what Barpa Larpa, Weaver Snoobin. Now, you're not going to pretend that you know what that means, because it's gibberish. If you do, if it's not gibberish, funny if it wasn't gibberish, then I'm going to give you the death glare. The death glare, because really, that's a real thing. You did not just pretend you knew what that was. So, Amira originally said Spanish, but she said like make up the language because Spanish is a real language, and Japanese is a real language, and Korean is a real language too. So she doesn't really think that it's the best of ideas, but since they are less popular ideas, you know, she does agree that maybe it'd be okay to just say you're a foot in Korean or Japanese, because it's not like they know. I don't need to say to them in Japanese like, oh, eigo to spango o hanashimasen. Like English and Spanish, I don't speak, but you know, I mean, I could say that if I just want to be nice in my own peace of mind, instead of just saying people look like feet. But, you know, if I want to just say whatever I want, I mean, I could just think of all the not as nice Japanese phrases, or I guess more blunt way of saying things. You know, like I could say, I'm trying to think, let's say they're fat or something. Like, I don't know. Or they're not skinny, I don't know. Anything. Now, here's basically the reason why I'm probably going to try to take this approach, because I don't really want to try to think of something nice in English to say. This is awkward. Even though Amira did give me some good tips, and I might try some of those. Just pretending I don't speak English is a whole lot easier, because I can just say whatever I want. Even though my accent in Japanese is not going to be that good, and my accent in Korean is definitely going to be worse. So, and here's the thing. I don't hate talking to people at all on trains and buses and whatnot, but only if I know you or you're my friend or you're somebody I'm tight with. I'm tight with Amira, of course. See her on the bus or the train or like in the station, like, oh hey, tell me how it's going, like what's wrong, what's up, what's good. But if you're not one of my friends, GTFO, my bro. Now that's not to say that I completely hate interaction on buses and trains, but it's just I do prefer Japan in terms of buses and trains, because talking on public transportation is not appropriate. Some people do it, but usually it's foreigners, but for the most part it's like, no, don't do it. And people just like to talk to me. I don't know, maybe I seem approachable, maybe I seem friendly, which can be a good thing, but I don't want to talk. And when I was going to go see Amira, so we could do the whole, I guess, apartment shopping vlog thing anyway, this man just started talking to me. See, the first question he wanted to know was what language was that? The language that I was writing and whatnot. And I said Korean. Open-ended, like not open-ended, straightforward answer, one-worded answer. I turned my head and focused back on the Korean. This man keeps talking to me, and we talked for the whole bus ride. And I really just want to move and say excuse me and go someplace else, especially when other seats open up. But no, I was trapped between the wall / window seat. Wasn't exactly a window seat, I guess, so I don't know. And I didn't want to be rude. See, I'm all about saving face. I do certain things I don't even want to do to save face. And yeah, I don't know why, but I don't really like to do it, but I just do it out of respect to other people and whatnot. You know, you see, I'm looking at my phone because I need to check time so I can go get the bus, because we're going to be doing a little vlog later for next video. So yeah, and this happens quite often. And there are nice things to say in English, but if I just start speaking Japanese or Korean, people might look at me funny, but I don't care. Okay, I don't want to speak. That's why I put my bags next to me sometimes. My suitcases, my roller bag, and my suitcase bag, so that people can stop speaking to me. Now, I guess I can't say sayonara because that's for a long time, goodbye. So all that I can say to you guys is 失礼します, critics.